Holding on feels safe, but it's often what hurts us most. The mind clings, the heart remembers, the body tightens. But there comes a moment where control collapses and something softer begins. Letting go is not failure, it's trust. Surrender is the wisdom of knowing what you can't force. Tonight we release the grip and then fall gently into what comes next. Imagine yourself stepping into a serene dance with existence, where each breath synchronizes with the universe's harmonic pulse. In this ethereal realm, we journey together through the tender art of letting go, exploring a truth as ancient as time itself. Control, that seductive illusion, slips through our fingers like water. When we cling too tightly to reins born of our wills, we often find ourselves entangled in threads of despair and longing. A reminder that true control is as elusive as a dream upon waking. Throughout the ages, humanity has charted a path through the mystery of control, crafting structures of thought and belief to tame the wild heart of destiny. Ancient philosophers pondered its vast boundaries, wrestling with the delicate dance between fate and freedom. Yet, even as civilizations rose and fell, the essence of existence remained a river flowing true to its own course, whispering secrets of ephemeral beauty against a backdrop of stars. This narrative of mastery and dominion has at times cloaked our shared awareness of life's intricate chaos, urging us to glimpse beyond the fragile veil. In the quiet chambers of the mind, the yearning for control is a balm for uncertainty, a fortress built to shelter us from life's tempests. While the conscious mind seeks autonomy, beneath this surface lurks the shadows of unconscious desires that shape our daily choices. Here, both modern psychology and the musings of Carl Jung invite us to a deeper encounter with the self, illuminating the ego's intricate designs and encouraging a release into the heart of life's swirling dance. When we chase control with relentless fervour, our psyche bears the weight, whispering of weariness and the frayed edges of anxiety. We become entrapped within vast labyrinths, fashioned from our perceptions of duty and perfection, ever pursuing a precarious stability. Oftentimes, in clinging to these ideals, we forsake the profound gifts of vulnerability and possibility that lie just beyond our grasp. The courage to step into uncertainty becomes a beacon of potential, guiding us toward unexplored shores where fear relinquishes its hold and self-discovery blossoms. The body echoes the strains of our internal struggles, where stress unfurls its tendrils and sows seeds of discord within us. The potent chemistry of cortisol courses through us, unsettling the symphony of our being and veiling the whispers of our deepest wisdom. As Dr. Gabor Mate describes, the mystic bond between body and soul reveals its mysteries, urging us to listen more closely, to seek harmony beyond the false promises of control. In the intricate weave of relationships, control casts its shadow upon the tapestry of human connection, obscuring the dance of intimacy and authenticity. Attempts to shape another's will corrode the delicate bonds of love and understanding, skirting the edges of loneliness. Here, the true nature of affection calls for a release, fostering a ground where trust and affection can take root, and granting both partners the freedom to flourish in their shared vulnerability. To release the illusion of control is to invoke a gentle embrace of uncertainty. It invites us to a seasoned wisdom carried on the breath of an ancient song, finding balance along this profound journey. Alan Watts once spoke of life as a river, an unfolding miracle that invites us to revel in its pure spontaneity. With grace, we can navigate this flowing world, turning our attention away from rigid blueprints and rediscovering ourselves anew within the echoes of each shifting tide. The ancient wisdom of philosophy and spiritual teachings illuminates a path through the mist. In hoary Taoist musings, the Tao emerges as a guide towards coexistence, whispering sweet notes of non-resistance and surrender. From Buddhist monasteries to the meditative reflections of Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, a gentle understanding of life's transient nature speaks softly, transcending time and inviting a shared communion with being. As we delve deeper into the narrative of release, a sacred alchemy arises within, a transmutation where fear, once a steadfast sentinel, softens into compassion and creativity. Within the embrace of our shadows and hidden wounds, we find liberation and truth, a guiding light to navigate the labyrinth of our souls, bridging earthly experience with transcendent insight. And so we stand at the threshold of release, where freedom unfurls like spring blossoms beneath the kiss of the sun. Here in this spaciousness lies the richness of the present moment, a moment vibrant in its clarity and wonder. By letting go, by choosing flow over force, we awaken anew, our hearts alight with the wisdom of the universe, inviting peace and authenticity to guide us on this sacred journey of life. As we step lightly through the veil, may the dance of surrender reveal to us the hidden depths of existence, guiding our hearts towards the infinite tapestry that weaves all into the dance of life itself. In the quiet corners of our psyche lies resistance, a spectral guardian against change. It emerges to shield us from experiences that loom as threats, cocooning us in familiar discomforts. Like a shadow dancer on the walls of our consciousness, resistance manifests through a myriad of behaviours: procrastination's slow embrace, denial's whispered comfort, or avoidance's soft retreat. Rooted in the depths of our nature, this resistance is not an arbiter of truth or morality, but a vigilant protector against vulnerability. Yet unawares, it morphs into a veil over the eyes of acceptance, amplifying the echoes of our internal struggles. To perceive resistance is to embark on the first steps toward its dissolution. It is a paradox, shaping itself as a refuge while only heightening our disquiet. The more we oppose the currents of existence, the more we slip into the quicksand of suffering. The ego's desire to shape reality battles against the fluidity of life, drawing from our spirit the energy meant for joy and creativity, entrapping us in defense of illusions. By turning inward without judgment, akin to observing stars across the night sky, we begin to illuminate the recesses where resistance hides. The whispering shadows reveal their secrets, allowing space for a gentle surrender to breathe life into our restless souls. Pain, the silent thread woven into the fabric of life, visits us in myriad forms. Love's echo, loss's bittersweet refrain, each a reminder of our being. Yet it is resistance to this natural rhythm that transmutes fleeting anguish into enduring sorrow. Stoically, resistance becomes a paddle against life's surging waves, intensifying the storm we wish to quell. Breaking this cycle requires the courage to adjust the sails of our heart, steering us away from resistance toward acceptance. Here, in the calm of acceptance, we meet pain as it is, a visitor, not a permanent resident. Beyond the veil of resistance crouches the illusion of control, a mirage shimmering enticingly on the horizon of our desires. We hold fast to the belief that, through determination alone, we might mould the world to our image. erecting structures of predictability amidst life's chaos. Yet, each act of trying to pin down the wind binds us in mental shackles as circumstances shift and certainty crumbles beneath our feet. By relinquishing this delusion, we foster trust in the unforeseen melodies of existence, discovering life not as an adversary to wrestle, but as a partner in the dance of uncertainty. In moments of discontent, resistance kindles the fires of emotional reactivity, blazes of anger, and waves of despair that threaten to drown clarity. Our instinct draws us to these familiar shores, even as they batter us further against the rocks. To transcend this cycle, we must cultivate a gentle awareness, embracing emotions with a soft curiosity and steady heart. Each pause we take opens a door beyond habitual reactions, where anger tempers to understanding and fear yields to wise caution. In accepting our emotional weather, we find transformation. The storm within calms, inviting sails toward deeper waters. Carl Jung's shadow, a keeper of the unseen within us, holds keys to understanding our resistance. Here lie the disowned fragments of self, hidden from the light of awareness. In this dim interior, resistance takes refuge, thriving amidst misunderstood parts yearning for acceptance. Wading into shadow work unveils these concealed allies, dispelling resistance's murky tendrils. By embracing our hidden selves, we dissolve the constructs of resilience built upon illusions, forging pathways to psychological harmony and insight. Acceptance emerges as a salve, tender and warm, countering resistance's chill. It stands not as passive surrender, but as an empowered choice to meet life's unfurling with grace. In the tapestry of acceptance, we weave threads of awareness, letting go of rigid tapestries of expectation. We find ourselves unburdened by the past and unperturbed by future's call. It is in this spaciousness that resistance softens, its barriers falling like autumn leaves, revealing the landscape of self-discovery and healing. Change, the eternal river that carves valleys into the stone of existence, is often met with resistance's fortification. Yet by embracing change, we unearth the seeds of liberation and transformation. Resistance seeks to bind us to old patterns, yet life's flow demands evolution, urging us to shed the skin of stasis. In welcoming change, we align with life's rhythm, standing ready to journey beneath new skies, guided by resilience's gentle hand. Mindfulness whispers through the winds of consciousness, inviting us into presence. It is the art of seeing without the fog of resistance, creating spaces where breath and awareness dance intimately. By observing without judgment, we interrupt the default pattern of resistance, opening vistas of possibility. Mindfulness nurtures a profound connection to our inner landscapes, revealing hidden pathways to peace in each moment's unfolding. Forgiveness, a harp's melody resonating through the halls of the heart, serves as an antidote to resistance. It is the gentle unbinding of the soul from chains of resentment, freeing us to step beyond the cycle of suffering. In forgiving, we weave compassion through the tapestry of our human story, reclaiming power from the shadows of resistance. This gentle forgiveness becomes a beacon, illuminating the path to a fuller connection with both the self and others. As we surrender, like a leaf to the current, we embrace life not out of defeat, but with an open heart ready to flow. In this trustful release, resistance dissolves into the water's embrace, and we find ourselves anew, immersed in the beauty of being. With each gentle surrender arises a deeper intimacy with life's dance, an invitation to live fully and serenely amidst the mysteries that forever await. In the quiet corners of our minds, where shadows dance with the light, surrender whispers its misunderstood secret. Society, in its relentless pursuit of achievement and control, has painted surrender in hues of weakness and defeat. Yet, like the calm embrace of an evening tide, true surrender is a graceful acknowledgement of the limits of our power. It is not a retreat but a dance of acceptance, a gentle nod to life's ever-flowing currents. In this delicate unravelling, surrender emerges not as the absence of conviction, but as a profound state of openness, inviting us to flow with the world rather than strugglement, one against it. Here we find the essence of courage, a silent strength that flourishes in the space between what is within our grasp and what lies beyond. Imagine walking a path where the trees lean in to share their silent wisdom, teaching us the delicate art of acceptance. In a world that often reveres relentless striving, the journey from control to acceptance is a pilgrimage of the soul. Life, with its unpredictable whims and turns, asks us to embrace its paradoxes with open arms, helping us to see beyond the illusion of control. This journey is not about passive resignation, but about a mindful release, like leaves surrendering to the wind. It is a call to embrace the present moment and respond to life's melodies with a serene grace born of deep inner knowing. Our emotions, those tender threads of our being, beckon us to another layer of surrender. The practice of emotional surrender invites us into the depths of our feelings, places where joy meets sorrow, and where fear and love intertwine like aged vines. To surrender emotionally is not to lose oneself in the storm, but to ride its waves with curiosity, allowing emotions to wash over us like cleansing rains. It is in this space of vulnerability that we discover the profound richness of our humanity, where each tear, each smile becomes a note in the symphony of our soul. Vulnerability, the fragile seed from which surrender blooms, asks us to wear the cloak of our imperfections like a cherished garment. The world often celebrates invincibility, yet true strength is found in the willingness to be seen as we are. It is the courage to invite others into our most sacred places, those tender chambers where our true selves reside. From these tender spaces, surrender rises, not as a sign of defeat, but as a testament to living with an open and honest heart. Stories and metaphors, whispers from the ancients, serve as guiding stars on our journey. They speak of surrender in the language of rivers, flowing effortlessly around obstacles, and of mythical beings like the phoenix rising anew. These tales, woven through time, invite us to see surrender not as an abstract notion, but as a living, breathing tapestry in our lives. In the ethereal dance of metaphor, surrender unfolds its wisdom, reminding us of the power held in letting go and embracing what is to come. In moments of chaos, surrender asks us to trust, to find the harmony hidden within the dissonance. Chaos, with its wild, unpredictable dance, becomes a teacher when we allow ourselves to lean into its tempest. Here, surrender nurtures within us resilience and adaptability, cultivating a trust that transforms shattered dreams into new possibilities. The paradox of surrender speaks to the heart of genuine personal power. In yielding, we discover strength. In release, we find freedom. Personal power does not reside in domination, but in the alignment with our true selves, unfettered by the constraints of ego. Surrender allows us to transcend the rigid dictates of the world, igniting a quiet revolution of authenticity. Through surrender, we open the door to inner peace, transforming our quest from an external chase into an inner sanctuary. Peace, like blooming lotus flowers on a still pond, arises when we relinquish our grip on desired outcomes and rest in the gentle flow of life. It beckons us to embrace all aspects of our being, weaving every experience into a rich tapestry of presence and presence alone. The art of letting go, a dance between resistance and liberation, teaches us the sacred practice of discernment. We learn to release the burdens that weigh us down and surrender to the beauty of transformation. In this letting go, resistance melts into resilience, clearing a path for growth. Thus, through surrender, we find our wholeness, a return to the essence that connects us to the threads of the universe. As each piece of our past pain and present awareness converges, a unity emerges that transcends our fragmented selves. In this sacred space, surrender invites us to step into the dance of life, fully alive, fully connected. In the intricate dance of life, attachment begins as a gentle embrace, uniting us with people, beliefs, objects, each thread woven into our existence through moments and emotions shared. At first, these connections feel like anchors, grounding us against the winds of uncertainty. Yet as time unfolds, what was once a nurturing bond may transform into a restrictive hold, akin to vines ensnaring a tree, hindering its growth. This transformation from soothing attachment to desperate clinging emerges from fear, the fear of emptiness, of losing the known shores of stability in life's vast ocean. As we cling ever tighter, we find ourselves trapped in a paradox, for what we hope to preserve ultimately stifles the soul's yearning for expansion. Within this grasping lies the grand illusion of permanence, a mirage suggesting that with enough force, we can manipulate time itself. We hold on to jobs, relationships, moments, attempting to freeze them in place, wishing they could defy the natural cycle of change. Society often glorifies everlasting bonds and achievements, ensnaring us in tales where permanence reigns supreme. But these tales, though enchanting, mask the exquisite truth of impermanence, a truth that beckons us to release our grip, to dance lightly upon life's changing tides instead of battling them. Acceptance of transience is not a resignation, but a liberation, granting us the grace to flow with the rhythm of life's ever-shifting song. The emotional tapestry of clinging can weave us into complex knots. As emotions intertwine with their objects, our identities become enmeshed. The self, once a vibrant tapestry of experiences, is overshadowed by the shadows of our attachments. Separation or change bring turmoil as we wrestle with the sensation of losing pieces of ourselves. This entanglement births cycles of anxiety and discontent, the heart weary from chasing expectations that reality could never fulfill. Relationships strained by unmet expectations falter under the weight of such emotional baggage, while the soul yearns for freedom it cannot grasp. What if, instead of clinging, we could float gently, recognizing that identity is not the sum of our possessions, but the dance of presence and potential? The paradox of possessing security lies buried deep within our quest for stabilizing anchors. We stockpile material possessions, convinced they insulate us from life's capricious nature. However, these very possessions become burdens, chaining us to an illusion of safety. Ideas and beliefs equally grasped confine our thoughts, stifling the mind's fertile soil from nurturing new concepts. Yet, true security is not anchored in accumulation. It emerges from our ability to adapt and evolve. In the willingness to let go of the old, we discover resilience. A resilience that forms not from certainty, but from the graceful acceptance of uncertainty's dance. Persistently clinging reverberates through our psyche, planting seeds of anxiety and stress as the mind battles with the notion of change. A maelstrom of thoughts churns and ruminates on maintaining the unattainable grasp, consuming mental and emotional energies in the process. This resistance fuels the turbulence, tearing at the mind and heart until the self flounders, fragmented by the insistence on control. Creativity stalls and options for growth seem distant, unreachable. In clinging, we trade the world's wonders for a mirage of constancy, forfeiting the joy of exploring the beyond, of glimpsing the possibility that lies just out of rigid reach. Our attachments also shape our perception of self-worth, knitting external factors into the fabric of who we believe we are. Jobs, relationships, and possessions become mirrors reflecting a constructed identity, and letting go would be akin to shedding skin, leaving vulnerability exposed. Yet, authentic self-worth is not an adornment from the outside, it is a beacon shining from within. By disentangling identity from things we possess, by realizing that our inherent value transcends mere external acclaim or possession, we tread the path towards self-reliance and authentic understanding. Somewhere deep in the act of release lies a spiritual truth, hidden in the letting go. This is where the soul finds its compass. Clinging is the work of the ego, seeking to manufacture order amidst the potency of life's mysteries. In letting go, we surrender not to emptiness, but to the sacred invitation of the unknown. An unapologetic dance with the universe's rhythm. We trust that what we release leads us to a richer wisdom, one that soars beyond the limitations of material confines, aligning with a higher self expressing our deepest truths. With each act of letting go, we embark on healing, unraveling internal knots, woven tight by past wounds and limitations. This gentle release is a courageous act, making space for emotions long stored to integrate into the broader narrative of self. Healing, much like life, requires patience and grace, not a destination but an evolving journey. In letting go, resilience blooms effortlessly, fostering adaptability and renewal, while offering a haven where transformation whispers its promise of peace and fulfillment. The journey of release calls for introspection, a quiet turning inward to observe, with curiosity and gentle acceptance, the roots of our attachments. In self-reflection, we decipher patterns without judgment, softening the grip on our stories to extend compassion to ourselves. Through this lens, we illuminate the shadows cast by our expectations and fears, allowing hidden aspects of the self to merge with understanding, expanding awareness and fostering authentic growth. Thus, embracing the journey of letting go becomes a profound pilgrimage, a voyage not into loss but discovery. Vulnerability transforms into strength, courage meets uncertainty with grace, and life's rhythm becomes a companion once more. In each release, the soul steps closer to its unfolding, towards the beautiful horizon of potential. As we let go and embrace this timeless journey, we open the door to infinite expressions of freedom and essence. In the quiet chambers of our being, the nervous system whispers secrets of survival and surrender, balancing the intricate dance between tension and tranquility. This sophisticated system governs our responses to the rhythms of life, orchestrated through its symphony of heartbeats and breaths. It is divided into the sympathetic and parasympathetic branches, each playing its part in our body's narrative. Here lies the ancient scene of action and rest, the fight or flight that quickens our pulse, and the rest and digest that cradles us back into serenity. Within this delicate equilibrium, an understanding blooms, revealing how finely tuned we are to the subtle play of stress and release. Our bodies are innately wise, messengers of truths the mind might shy away from. A flutter in the stomach, a constriction in the chest. These are the body's poetry, urging us to heed what we cannot see with our eyes open. Long before our minds catch wind of threat or fear, the body speaks in a language of sensation, guiding us through an internal landscape filled with unspoken knowledge. When we listen without judgment, these signals illuminate paths to psychological freedom, urging us towards a holistic surrender where body and mind become a seamless whole. Breath, ever present yet often unnoticed, becomes a direct line of communication with this system, an ethereal thread uniting body and universe. Each conscious breath invites us to shift from restlessness to calm, invoking a tranquil state of being where peace reigns. In the act of mindful breathing lies a sacred ritual, practiced across cultures, a timeless bridge to deeper realms within. With every inhalation, life enters. With each exhalation, we gently release the burdens we need not carry. This rhythmic exchange echoes an art of letting go, revealing the spaciousness that lies within our core. Tension, like an unwanted guest overstaying its welcome, makes its home in our muscles, overshadowing our natural grace. These knots of distress call for recognition, urging release through compassionate attention. Yoga, Tai Chi, or simply a mindful stretch can unravel these rigid narratives our bodies tell, bringing us back to ease and presence. As we loosen this grip, a space emerges for emotional liberation, fostering a return to harmony, where surrender is woven into the fabric of our being. In grounding, we discover the earth's embrace, anchoring us during emotional storms. Whether by planting bare feet on cool grass or visualizing roots digging deep into the soil, grounding invites us back into stillness. It serves as a counterweight to frenzied energies, pulling us back to the moment, steady and true. This connection is a conduit for surrender, reminding us of our place in the grand tapestry, comforting us with the knowledge that beneath uncertainty, we belong. We often speak of our gut instinct, but beneath this common phrase lies profound wisdom, a second brain that presides over intuition. These instinctual murmurs might contradict reason, yet they resonate with truth deeper than logic. This inner compass, speaking in sensations rather than words, guides us when we dare to trust its direction. In surrendering to this inner wisdom, we dismantle the facades of intellect, aligning with our authentic self and finding liberation in truth. Rest is the gentle balm healing the wear of daily battles, a reprieve from the relentless march of productivity. In stillness, the body regenerates and gathers strength, cradled in the arms of non-doing. This sacred pause allows for deep recalibration, shifting us from tension to tranquil balance. Listening to our need for rest, we honour the body's wisdom, cultivating a sanctuary where inner renewal becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Movement, flowing with intention and grace, becomes a vessel for release, a dance of liberation. Whether through a gentle walk, a spontaneous dance, or the fluidity of yoga, movement channels the energy stifled by inertia, inviting it back into the world. This dance with life frees not only the physical form, but unlocks emotional and spiritual confines, bringing forth a symphony of well-being. Through movement, we affirm life's dynamic nature, nurturing a profound connection between the heart's pulse and the soul's call for freedom. As we practice mindful observation, we learn to sit with our thoughts like old friends, observing without haste or judgment. In this act of witnessing, we create a tapestry of understanding, weaving together stimulus and response into a unified whole. This practice illuminates the path to letting go, not as struggle or striving, but as an elegant dance with the present, revealing our true capacity for grace and resilience in every breath. By immersing ourselves in the present, we become one with the rhythm of existence, unshackled from the past, untethered from the future. This is the essence of surrender, an embrace of what is, without reservation. Here presence shines like a beacon, dissolving resistance, making room for acceptance and release. Through this embrace, life reveals its ephemeral beauty, and the art of letting go becomes not just a destination, but a journey, a continual unfolding of self-discovery and liberation. In the realm of human consciousness, few things challenge our spirits like the dance with uncertainty. Our minds are exquisite machines, honed by time to seek patterns, deciphering the unknown like ancient travellers navigating by stars. Yet the cosmos remains mysterious and vast, urging us to relinquish our plans, letting life script its story with the ink of unpredictability. As we surrender our hunger for control, we encounter uncertainty, not as chaos, but as a garden of potential, each moment a delicate bloom awaiting discovery. Venturing into the unknown doesn't imply recklessness, nor a casting aside of dreams. Instead, it invites us to cradle our aspirations with open hands, to perceive the blank canvas of the future brushed with promising hues rather than dark shadows. As we embrace this uncertainty, we weave resilience into our being, attuning ourselves to life's subtle, serendipitous whispers that beckon hidden paths of opportunity. In this sacred act of trust, we touch upon the essence of faith, not confined to religious confines, but flourishing in the fertile soils of the human experience. Faith reflects our inner conviction, an embrace of a gentle order within the universe's apparent disarray. It whispers that unseen forces guide us through the veiled corridors of existence, challenging us not to blind belief, but a reflective trust, grounded in personal journey and shared narrative. Journeying deeper, we recognise the interplay between our shadows and the light that dances upon them. Our souls are woven of both, concealed patterns shaped by past echoes and untapped potentials awaiting illumination. To traverse this landscape is to engage in shadow work, to greet our hidden dimensions with compassionate attention, understanding that our shadows bear lessons not as saboteurs, but as guides toward growth and unity. Here lies the call of intuition, a quiet compass guiding us through this nuanced tapestry, where reason gently bows to silence. Like a seasoned sailor feeling the wind, we learn to heed the whispers of our inner selves, that voice of distilled wisdom speaking softly amid clamour. Practices of stillness, meditative reflection, the gentle flow of journaling draw us closer to this intuitive thread, strengthening our ability to lean into life's mysteries with openness and grace. In moments of synchronicity, we glimpse the symphony of the unseen. These poignant coincidences, beautifully orchestrated, reveal the delicate dance between chance and meaning. Carl Jung spoke of these as meaningful coincidences, beyond the simple causality we understand, offering personalised messages of reassurance and connection, weaving us into the cosmic tapestry's larger narrative. Creativity stands as the bridge between these realms, a vibrant expression of our unspoken stories, myths, and dreams. It invites exploration into the soul's uncharted territories, allowing the unseen to become visible threads in the fabric of our conscious experience. In painting, writing, or song, we engage with the unknown, each creation an act of courage, a testament to unseen potential manifesting amid life's inevitable ambiguities. Moving through life requires courage, inviting us to transform fear into a torch, illuminating new paths and unexplored territories. Fear, a natural sentinel, often oversteps its bounds, constructing walls where bridges might arise. Acknowledging this, we find power in facing fear tenderly, embracing it as part of our evolution rather than an anchor of impediment. Trust in the unseen demands harmony between our inner convictions and the broad currents of our world. Balanced trust in self and existence intertwines us with the universe's rhythm, reminding us that while our individual journeys are profound, we are threads in a grander, interconnected weave. Patience, an art form of its own, teaches us to savour the pauses, those pockets of stillness between life's crescendos. Within these silences, growth brews and understanding unfurls in its rightful time. Here, mindfulness becomes an ally, guiding us through cycles of waiting with presence, surrendering the rush for answers to the gentle unfolding of life's intricate dance. Ultimately, trust in the unseen transforms into a salve for healing, a path to wholeness. It opens gateways to reconciling our fragmented pasts, allowing scars to translate into stories of wisdom. Through trust, we embrace our imperfections and intricacies, crafting our lives as mosaics of resilience and beauty. In surrendering to the unseen, we engage in a sacred dialogue with the unknown, embracing its mysteries as allies in our quest for self-discovery and growth. We find that in trusting the currents of the unseen, we are not relinquishing control, but embracing an intimate dance with life, allowing it to unfold its secrets gently as a sacred bedtime tale told by flickering firelight. Forgiveness, that elusive balm of the soul, is often mistaken as a gift granted to another, a relinquishment of righteous anger for their peace of mind. Yet, in a sacred dance of paradox, true forgiveness is an unlocking of one's own cage, a gentle release from resentment's heavy chains. It is not the erasure of memory nor an acceptance of harm, but a freeing of oneself from the narratives that pin us to past wounds. Imagine forgiveness as a quiet act of self-liberation, lifting the burden of victimhood from weary shoulders, offering in its place lightness and space to grow anew. To forgive is to step from the shadows of an old story to weave a new tale where victim and perpetrator no longer hold dominion over the heart's peace. It is not reconciliation, nor does it require the resetting of broken bonds. Instead, forgiveness is a solitary passage, an internal reformation where we learn to sit with our memories differently, viewing them not as prisons but as stepping stones toward wisdom. Yet the spirit of unforgiveness lurks in familiar corners, disguised as a fortress built for protection. This fortress, though seemingly steadfast, thickens into a suffocating barricade, a self-made prison where grievances churn endlessly, tainting the wellspring of joy. Unforgiveness, sly and persistent, chips away at the soul's luster, creating shadows that dim even the brightest emotional landscape. Peel away the layers of these barricades and find the kernel of identity tethered to pain, holding steadfast to hurt like a known companion. It is a curious paradox. While we fear opening to the unknown vistas of peace and understanding, we clutch the familiar thorn of grievance to our breast. However, within the vulnerability of forgiveness lies an invitation to cross a chasm and enter the fullness of life, untethered and anew. Imagine forgiveness as an alchemy of the soul, a mystical transformation unfolding within. Resentment, dense as lead, transmutes into the gold of understanding and compassion. Fearlessly face the deepest wounds, stripping away the layers of hard-earned cynicism. Forgiveness reminds us of our shared, frail humanity with those who have cast shadows on our path, allowing empathy and fresh perspectives to flower. This alchemical voyage demands courageous engagement, transforming anger into understanding, hostility into a dawning empathy. Harbouring pain evolves into acknowledging the shared tribulation of existence. Emerging from this transformation, a renewed self stands purified, with negativity's corrosion washed away. In this way, forgiveness aligns us with our authentic essence, rooting us in a life driven by peace and deeper connections. The fertile soil of forgiveness is enriched with empathy. By threading our consciousness through the fabric of another's experience, we witness human actions in a brighter light, though still never excusing them. Through empathy, actions take on dimensions of shared suffering and confused motivation, bridging the deep crevices between one heart and another. In stepping into another's shoes, we dismantle the stark narratives of us versus them, calling forth courage to embrace vulnerability. Here, amidst discomfort, we find resonance with reflections of our own imperfections in those we least imagined. Thus, through empathy, a path to forgiveness snakes gently forward, ushering in the soothing balm of peace and release. At the core of this journey is an ally in self-compassion. First, we must tenderly forgive ourselves for the anger and guilt for stumbling along the path of forgiveness. Recognize these emotions as havens for the wounded self, cradling pain with the embrace of acceptance. Self-compassion carves a nurturing space where our imperfections find solace and self-blame lifts its oppressive weight. As self-directed empathy flourishes, forgiveness finds fertile ground to take root. In embracing ourselves with kindness, an environment blooms for authentic forgiveness, unclouded by judgment. Thus, by granting ourselves grace, we encounter the seamless path to forgiving others, as natural as the river's course to the sea. Myths shroud forgiveness in misconceptions, distorting its tender truth. To forgive is not to forget. It's a recognition of memory's power as a wellspring for growth. True forgiveness holds memory's hand, transforming its raw edges from wounds into chapters of insight and quiet reflection. Remember, forgiveness is not a singular moment in time, but a dynamic ebb and flow. It requires patience and gentle openness to its unfolding. Myth begone. Embrace forgiveness as a flow of emotions, a path we walk at our pace, free from external expectation. Through unravelling these myths, forgiveness emerges as a deeply personal tapestry, woven with intention and liberation. Across time, sacred texts and philosophies have sung forgiveness's praises as a beacon towards spiritual elevation. In the words of the sages and mystics, forgiveness unites our flawed hearts with the divine and each other. It is a path well trod, yet eternally personal, where powerful transformation roots itself in the soil of love and understanding. Beyond words alone, practical steps anchor this transformative process. Write with honesty, exploring emotions on the page as cathartic release. Practice mindfulness, returning time and again to the present moment, where past grievances lift away like mist. Visualization ushers peaceful intentions toward those challenging to forgive, eroding barriers gently, over time. We stand at the paradox, how to forgive without forgetting. Let memory be the keeper of wisdom, woven into the rich fabric of our growth. Move forward, guided by heart and mind, toward a consciousness where memories are not shackles but stones of a path, leading to a horizon unencumbered by past storms. Ultimately, forgiveness is liberation, the gentle unshackling from constraints that bind the heart. It is a testament to the spirit's strength, a sacred reclamation of peace over pain, lighting the path towards freedom. In choosing to forgive, we ripple healing into our relationships, carving out a world grounded in compassion's gentle embrace, a revolutionary act of grace and strength in the human spirit's endless capacity for renewal. In the gentle, shadowed folds of our existence, grief whispers as a sacred teacher, guiding us through the mystical landscape of loss. It is not merely an emotional response, but a profound journey, stripping away the frail illusions of permanence crafted by the ego. This guardian of self-identity quivers at the touch of impermanence, sensing existential threat where only transformation beckons. Grief in its solemn grace bridges our resistance to acceptance, unveiling life as a tapestry, woven not with concrete certainty, but with fluid, evolving strands of unpredictable beauty. Through grief we stand bare before the universe, discovering strength within vulnerability, coaxing us beyond the limits of our hardened defences into realms of soulful introspection. As we traverse this poignant path, we encounter an undeniable truth. The illusion of control fades, and permanence becomes a bedtime tale swept away by the dawn of reality. Yet this revelation is no foe. It is an entryway. Grief holds us in its tender embrace, demanding our presence and introspection, lighting the way to an authentic encounter with our innermost selves. Here, amidst tears and tender openness, we release our ancestral grasp on what once was, welcoming instead the fluid dance of what is becoming. This surrender is not a capitulation, but an active leap into the arms of surrender, where resilience blooms and the depth of love unfurls, guiding us toward deeper wells of personal and spiritual evolution. Within the dichotomy of pain and release, grief emerges as both chalice and guide. It touches us through life's inevitable farewells, the breath of a loved one's last embrace, the silent retreat of laughter once shared, the stinging lessons of unmet expectations. In these moments, pain signals a call to transformation, inviting us to confront attachments. Our challenge is to reside quietly with this pain, letting it wash through us rather than fighting it. When embraced, this duality gently steers us toward profound change. Pain, lovingly met, becomes an ally, gently nudging us toward acceptance and peace. Through this intimate dance, pain shifts from adversary to companion on the journey to wholeness. Acknowledging the integral role of pain blossoms empathy and compassion, urging us to embrace the present moment and our vulnerabilities with open arms. In this, surrender flowers not as weakness, but as supreme courage, offering peace and inner freedom. The ego, clinging to self-preservation, regards grief as a threat. Its strategies distract us with anger, denial, and guilt to maintain the illusion of control. Yet, these deceptive comforts only extend the shadows. Recognizing the ego's defenses allows us to greet grief with love and clarity. As we tenderly guide the ego towards trust, our hearts unfold to a deeper understanding. Grief reveals the interconnectedness of all beings, dissolving the illusions that bind us. Beyond the resistance, we embrace our true selves, viewing vulnerability as an invitation to authenticity and growth. In grief's embrace, we transform raw emotion into growth, transmuting our tears into resilience. This alchemy begins with acknowledging grief as a natural response rather than a blemish. Granting ourselves permission to feel deeply, we unearth their hidden insights. This process, akin to the phoenix, invites rebirth through surrender. As old patterns fall away, we awaken to an enlightened existence, forging a life enriched with empathy and connection. This journey nurtures an open heart, breaking wide the chambers of our souls, not as an ending, but a fervent beginning. Vulnerability draws us beyond fear and judgment into the expansive vastness of surrender. As our hearts open, conduits of healing emerge, not just for ourselves, but in the larger dance of humanity. This openness transcends individual suffering, weaving us into the shared tapestry of existence. The beauty of life lies not in its certainty, but in the profound depths of love and impermanence. Acceptance, tender and powerful, stands as the beacon in grief's voyage, facilitating healing and release. Opening our hearts to what is, rather than struggling against what is not, allows peace and clarity to unfold. It liberates us from past burdens and future anxieties, offering strength rooted in the acceptance of life's unfolding rhythms. By embracing acceptance, life becomes a series of unfolding moments, each an opportunity for transformation. Rituals offer sacred sanctuary amid grief's storm, grounding and guiding our journey towards surrender. Simple acts of remembrance, lighting a candle, scripting a letter, embracing silence, form bridges back to the present, offering moments of solace. These rituals hearken to deeper truths, connecting to cycles greater than our own, honouring those gone while celebrating our enduring resilience. Intersecting grief lies a poignant truth: love. In losing, we remember just how deeply we cherished, our sorrow a testament to bonds unbroken. Through it, we discover grief is not failure but love's shadow, echoing its profound embrace. As we walk this delicate journey, we find healing in recalling how love and loss entwine, reminding us of their indelible mark on our hearts. Through this, the world softens and expands, nurturing an enduring appreciation for love expressed. In pain's alchemy, purpose arises, urging reassessment of life's essence. Amid grief's shadows, clarity, an awakening to live authentically. Rediscovering purpose, we honour passions, shedding what no longer serves. Awakening freedom. Grief's revelation enriches our path, inviting an authentic legacy of love. Emerging from grief with grace, we honour our journey's transformation. Holding space for emotion cultivates resilience, rooted in authenticity and vulnerability. As we embrace newfound wisdom and engage life with openness, we weave internal strength into our narratives, creating life's enriched tapestry with grace and compassion, honouring both pain and potential, embracing the human heart's indomitable spirit. In the hushed embrace of midnight, where the world lies in silent reverie, the whisper of spiritual surrender beckons gently at our door. Across the vast tapestry of sacred traditions, this invitation softly unfolds, urging us to release the illusion of control and flow effortlessly with the symphony of existence. It is not an act of resignation or defeat. Rather, it is a delicate dance of opening ourselves to the mysteries of life with a quiet trust. embracing humility and recognizing that not all that is can be mastered by human hands. Here we find a humbling of the ego's insistent demands for certainty, as we learn to rest in the unpredictable embrace of the unknown, aligning ourselves more intimately with the gentle rhythm of the universe. Spiritual practices become our guide, leading us into the arms of faith, to surrender our cognitive limitations in favour of a tender relationship with life. This is not a rigid allegiance to dogma, but a soft trust in a broader, grander unfolding that transcends the visible. In Islam, this surrender breathes life into the very word Islam, mapping the submission to Allah's will. Christian mystics speak in hushed tones of yielding to divine providence, while in Hindu philosophy, the essence of bhakti and karma yoga echoes the same gentle call. These traditions, diverse as the landscape of the earth, sing a shared truth. Liberation and profound peace await when we loosen our grasp and allow life to simply be. Yet the ego clings persistently to a thread of control, convinced it can shape the tumultuous sea of reality. It builds walls of separation, perceiving us as solitary islands that must conquer or shield ourselves against life's whimsical tides. This illusion, though comforting, can morph into chains that hold us to suffering when our plans unravel. By inviting us to transcend such illusions, spiritual surrender frees us, allowing authenticity to blossom and purpose to gently reveal itself. We learn that true power lies not in resistance, but in gracefully navigating life's currents with trust, acknowledging that each experience is a quiet brushstroke on the canvas of our personal evolution. Faith emerges as the cornerstone of this journey, a sanctuary that protects us from the shadows of fear and limitation. Not a blind surrender to dogma, it is a profound trust in life's own wild, uncharted journey. With faith, the unknown transforms from a looming abyss to a fertile ground of possibility, a soft canvas where intuition dances in the shadowy light. It leads us gently hand in hand to act from authenticity and to listen to the whisper of guidance that sails on the winds of life. Through surrender, faith becomes the bridge between a life of rigid control and a realm teeming with boundless potential and fulfillment. To nurture this gentle art of surrender, we must engage in practices that unravel the knots of control and seed the garden of trust. Mindfulness meditation becomes a refuge, gently urging us to the present moment without judgment, observing our thoughts as mere ripples in a serene lake. This awareness serves as a transformative mirror, reflecting the patterns we are ready to release with compassion. Gratitude, too, serves as a tender ally, guiding our gaze from scarcity to the abundance of each moment, inviting acceptance and reminding us that even the thorns carry wisdom and growth. As surrender deepens, consciousness expands, and we no longer view life through the myopic lens of the ego, but from a loftier perspective, one that sees the interconnectedness of all things. This shift offers us a fluidity where multiple truths coexist and the fabric of existence reveals its interconnected threads. From this vantage point, we become attuned to life's subtle songs, embracing fluid identities guided not by egoic constructs but by our essence. Our awareness sharpens, allowing us to cherish the divine intelligence woven intricately throughout the universe, awakening the timeless wisdom that lies in slumber within. Yet the path is not without its challenges. Fear and resistance are familiar companions in this journey. These energies emerge as natural defenders against the unfamiliar terrain that challenges the ego's grip, and questions our steadfast beliefs. However, fear is not a foe. It's an ally indicating growth, heralding new gateways to freedom and authenticity. By leaning into these feelings with curiosity and compassion, we transform them into allies of transformation. Letting go of certainty, we disentangle ourselves from the web of control that ties us to illusion, stepping instead into a vibrant realm where each moment is a mystery and an adventure waiting to unfold. At the core of spiritual surrender lies the gift of non-attachment, a gentle balance of engagement without expectation that liberates us from the bondage of desire. It frees us from disappointment, allowing us to partake in life with heartfelt passion without being chained by outcomes. As we release this need, a vast space opens, wherein life's wisdom and timing can manifest. This practice gifts us a deep joy in the present, free from past shadows, unburdened by future desires. In the quiet aftermath of surrender lies the reclamation of personal power, not through dominion but through deep alignment with our innermost truths. By relinquishing external power, we rediscover an internal power, an enduring strength fostering resilience, wisdom, and integrity. Thus, surrender becomes not a relinquishment, but an awakening, a co-creative dance between our soul and the universe, crafting a life resonant with beauty and potential. The journey does not culminate but rather continues, inviting us to live intentionally, practicing surrender like an art form, finding magic in the rhythm of life's dance. Through this lifelong journey, we awaken to infinite possibilities and the boundless potential sleeping within us, stepping softly into a future woven with promise and discovery. In the tapestry of life, we weave around ourselves a multitude of identities, masks that provide comfort and a place within the world. These personas are not mere reflections but projections, formed to shield our vulnerable essence. They offer a sense of belonging, a way to navigate society's complexities. Yet, as we wear these masks beyond necessity, they grow heavy with expectation, wrapping tighter around who we genuinely are. Jung whispers through the silence about the persona, a crafted identity meant initially as a shelter. But over time, it often becomes a shroud, hiding desires and dreams, pressing down our spirit in the chase for societal moulds. This weight leads to an existential tug-of-war within us, a call to shed these layers and embark on a quest for authenticity. This step, though, isn't a leap. It unfolds like a flower, softly, petal by petal. It urges us to face vulnerability and to embrace the fear that comes with standing bare before the world. This journey is a psychological rebirth. It's the alchemy of unveiling one's true nature, a passage away from fragmented selves toward an integrated, harmonious whole. The ego, born from experiences that sketch boundaries and carve narratives, serves to maintain familiar patterns, tightly holding the reins of past labels and notions. But in loosening this grasp, we venture into a landscape where shadows reside and truth beckons. Here softness finds its strength, and surrender doesn't erase the ego. Instead, it stretches its limits, inviting a deeper reflection of what lies beneath. Traversing this terrain, we come face to face with our own shadows, those parts, often feared and repressed, yearning for light and acceptance. It's not about banishing them, but dialoguing, understanding, and integrating them. Echoing Carl Jung's insights, it's through embracing our shadow that we inch toward individuation, toward becoming whole. This conscious merging transforms base materials into gold, shadows into illuminating beacons. The darkness, feared yet fertile, is the soil from which our true self emerges, where fragments unify not just as self, but as part of a larger, connected whole. Vulnerability weaves through this path, raw and unsettling, yet it's from this very material that authenticity emerges. To be vulnerable in a world that whispers vehemently of invulnerability is an act of strength, unparalleled. It's an open invitation for connection, for empathy, that dissolves the illusion of separation. It's a call to be seen, accepted, and loved for our true selves, navigating life's currents not with masks of certainty, but with the grace of openness. In confronting our innermost fears and doubts, we reclaim our inner authority. No longer do we seek from the external the approval and validation that once directed our compass. Instead, we honour the quiet wisdom that breathes within, shifting from seeking other voices to celebrating our own. This reclamation dissolves societal chains, allowing desires, needs and values to rise unencumbered, like sun-kissed waves upon a shore. Amidst the dismantling of identity and ego, purpose unfurls, a guiding light beyond occupational roles or societal constructs, tapping into our soul's deepest inclinations. It doesn't signal a final destination, but suggests a continual unfolding, alive with curiosity and intent, steering us toward what genuinely matters. Purpose, found and followed, reveals the dance between the inner and outer worlds, summoning us to engage with life meaningfully and embrace our unique role within its tapestry. This introspection, this unmasking, is shaded by the art of self-compassion. In our quest, moments will stir doubt and imperfection. Yet, nestled within is the invitation to treat ourselves with kindness, celebrating not the mirage of perfection, but the reality of progress and growth. With empathy, curiously tender and understanding, we nurture a dialogue of healing, silencing the critic within, and uncovering resilience through grace. As shadows touch light, as the shores of ego meet the sea of reality, a fuller self is born. It is the embodiment of integration, of embracing the paradox that makes us whole. Our journey is one of alchemy, not to a fixed endpoint, but a perpetual dance of weaving together light and shadow, a symphony playing out within the heart. And as the ashes cool, where identity burns away, we find rebirth standing resilient and renewed. This chapter, like the mythical phoenix, whispers tales of transformation, ever cycling, opening to what is, what might be, and what dreams inspire us anew. Finally, we come into the present, grounding ourselves here, where yesterday's masks and tomorrow's uncertainties recede. In this place of being, we savour life's essence, unveiling the profound in simplicity. Present and mindful, we invite a serene gratitude into our hearts, a calm cadence that dances us through life's tender ebbs and flows, grounding us in the now. In closing, I invite you, dear viewer, to like and subscribe for more journeys into the soul's vast landscapes as we continue to explore and evolve together.